Okay, good evening, everyone. It's been a little bit. I know it's been almost a year now, I think, since I did my last review. Um, just because I've just been out and just trying to focus on things and trying to do some other stuff and make sure I was in a good shape mentally to really do some of this stuff again and kind of pivot away from some of the reviews we've been doing previously between me and my cousin Freddie. So I want to get back into movies and other things I've been doing. So hopefully you can hear me well and this review will go well and you will enjoy it. So first things first, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment, share, and just have fun here. So the first one I want to start off with is the movie Obsession. I saw this the other day with my wife. I saw this trailer actually some months ago. Didn't see a whole lot of marketing for it, but it was interesting. It showed this trailer of this guy sitting in the car, like in this image here, and he was just like, "Hey, I want to change my wish." He's talking to a guy on the phone. He's like, and the guy on the phone's like, "We don't really do that." And it's like, "Whoa, that's interesting. What did he wish for? What does he want to change? And what are the ramifications of why is he changing it?" It's kind of a dark vibe to it. And then that was just a teaser. And then later on, they showed the actual trailer, and I thought the trailer was even more disturbing. It's even more creepy, right? So finally the movie came out this past weekend. Went to go see it, and I gotta say just right off the bat that I really enjoyed it. Out of my rating, I would say it's probably like a good mm, it's a good, somewhere between good and great movie. I wouldn't say it's a great movie or a fantastic movie. It definitely has some flaws, but let's just go through it here. So let me get back to my clicker. So from the first scene, so I got since the last time we've been on here, I've been using AI to kind of help with some of the graphics. So this is all original stuff. Hopefully, it will. It'll translate well and y'all enjoy some of this. Let me know, comment down below and let me know what you think of the graphics and some of the stuff, some of the artwork. But so get this guy, his name is Baron or Bear is what they call him in the movie. And just right off bat, this guy is a lot. He's a lot to deal with because he's very mumbly, he's very timid and weak. It's like he's a beaten dog. The whole time he's like, I don't know if she'll like me, and I love you so much. And it's like, bro, oh my God, how old are you? This is something I would expect from like a teenager or a really, really young kid or something like that. He's not used to expressing his feelings. But I just felt bad for the guy at first, and then I started progressively feeling like this guy sucks. He's the main villain. He's the main villain of the whole movie. Um, but basically, he likes a girl. The girl doesn't really give him a whole lot of attention. She treats him more like a little brother or like a little pet kind of thing. And there's more details in the movie. You can go watch it. But so he gets this crazy idea. He's in a shop. He's trying to buy her a gift, and he ends up getting. Oh, spoilers by the way. So I'm not going to spoil too hard, but definitely give some of the plot away. Um, he sees this little trinket. It says like one wish, make one wish, anything you want or whatever. It has all these warnings on it, and even the store clerk is like, oh yeah, it works. We're not scammers. Come on, it's like selling it like it's a real product, right? So I'm like, man, they're really selling this thing to make it seem like it's a gimmick, but don't take it too seriously. But then the whole movie is like you should have really took it seriously, but they treat it like it's not really that big a thing. Just don't wish for this. Don't do anything crazy. You should be fine. Well, somebody should have gave him the rule book because he did not do it well. But so basically, he goes and he gets this little thing, this trinket. He thinks it's really nothing, and then off a whim, he makes a wish. Of course, he wishes for the girl to like him and all this kind of stuff. Well, he got more than he bargained for because not only did it make her like him, it made her obsessed with him. And not even like a good obsessed, like, oh, she really likes me. She won't leave me alone. It's more like she became disturbingly evil, obsessed. No, I wouldn't say evil. I mean, evil is what ended up happening, but I would say it was very much creepy. It got really creepy. And what I really enjoyed about the movie a lot is, ooh, do we start at the end? I want to go to the beginning. Um, what I enjoyed about the movie a lot was how they, at first it made it seem like she just instantly became infatuated with him, and she's pushing her boundaries a little bit more as her crazy started to come out. And it was like, okay, that's it's a nice build up of crazy. But what was really cool about it is like they would have him, he'd be in a conversation, he'd be on the phone around the corner, and the way they did the what's his name? They did the filmography so well. It's Curry Barker. He's the director and the writer of the story, and then his friend um, Cooper Tomlinson. They're a duo on TikTok, and they do a lot of comedy skits, um, which is really funny. So when I saw them in the movie, I was like, "Whoa! They got a movie. They're in the movie." And Curry Barker actually made this movie. He directed the movie, which was awesome. But so what he did with the shots, he would have the guy right here talking to you, right? And then around the corner, you see her, and she's just standing there, and she's like looking in the background, and it's really creepy. And you see him talking, he's in the foreground, he's talking, she's back here, and then she slowly walks away. And it's like, oh snap, something's about to happen, something's about to happen. Or you'll see him talking to a guy like right here in the camera, and she's just standing there, just staring. Just staring. And it's like, whoa. The way they do that in this movie was so interesting. It was so cool. I was like, how horror is done so much in the same ways, where they always have some kind of monster and they got some crazy jump scares. They try to jump scare you with like the fake scares. And it's like, hey there, how you doing? It's like, man, come on. Nobody does that. Nobody jumps around the corner to get your attention. But when they did it here, it was like she would be standing there in the darkness, and then she'll start talking. She's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" She's like screaming. No, please don't do that. And then they're like walking backwards. And it's like, yo, they use movement, they use sound, they use camera placements, they use foreground and background, focus, unfocus. They use so many ways to build tension, and it just made you feel uneasy about everything the whole time. I really enjoyed it. So talking about that's like some of the filmography, some of the photography and camera work, right? So now going back to the characters, the main character Bear, like I said, he became insufferable. He became so insufferable. He became so annoying because he kept making bad choices. Excuse me. It's one thing, you're desperate for love, desperate for affection from this person, and I'm sure a lot of people probably would have made that same choice, right? I don't put that against them. But then when you saw all these red flags after the fact, when she started doing crazy stuff, and he would just be like, that's not okay. Nikki, is not okay. You can't do that. And it's like, it's like this guy has no backbone, man. He does not stand up for himself. That's why the girl, before he made the wish, she never paid him any attention, because he has no backbone. So not only was he just whimpering and he was crying, whining, he was like, can't do that. But then he'll do that with her, but then he'll go back into his crowd with his friends, and he'll be like, hey Bear, man, something's wrong with her. And he'll be like, no, there's not. Nothing's wrong with her. She's fine. And it's like, you're standing up to them. Won't you stand up to her like that? Stand up to her. And so he never did that. He just kept accepting more and more of her crazy, to the point where she starts killing people. Obviously, right? I mean, that's what the movie's kind of about. She starts doing weird stuff, and she eventually kills people and stuff. And then even then, he's kind of just standing there like, I can't believe that happened. And it's like, what did you expect, man? What did you expect? So Um, that was something that kind of brought me down in the movie a little bit. Um, I would have liked to have seen something different with that. Maybe him progressively making better choices, and he tries to do better. I mean, he tries to see the light. And I think at one point in the movie, he's with another character and he's talking, and there's a really nice moment where it's like, oh, this is genuine. The love that he wished for and it became toxic and evil and deranged, he's finding in this person over here in a very normal, natural way. It's like if he would have been patient or at least took that chance over here, he would have found what he was looking for, just in a different package, but probably a better package, honestly, because he even heard how this girl over here, early in the movie, before he made the wish, he heard how this girl was interested in him, but he was so caught up on Nikki. I was like, man, so you got to be young, because for you to not understand how to look at something a little bit differently like that, where perhaps she, you know, uh, perhaps this girl over here is just not, she's not for you. You need to go to this girl over here that's actually interested in you. Um, so of course, by the end of the movie, without giving too many spoilers, people die. It gets really crazy. It definitely goes over, it jumps the shark a little bit. Um, all the things you think may happen happens for the most part. It's pretty. They don't really hold back in that. The twist is pretty obvious. You know where it's gonna go. Um, so the characters, some of the friends are really cool. It makes sense. Some secrets come out that makes sense. It's like going back to the beginning of the movie. That's why you did that. So that's cool. Characters are great. The filmography is great. The story is pretty good. Um, if anything, I think the weakest part of the movie is the main character himself. Because the way I started looking at him, I started realizing this guy is the villain. He's the tragic character. He's our main character. He's our protagonist. But he's also the antagonist of the whole movie too. Not the girl. The girl is the physical antagonist, but he is the story antagonist. Um, I thought that was so interesting how they did that. Um, ooh, but yeah, I thought that the wrap up was great. The way they ended the movie was great. The way they used sound, the way they used projection, I thought it was very interesting. And yeah, I would say I highly recommend. This is probably going to go on my. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. It's it's a pretty high up movie for me so far. It's probably gonna go on my list of movies of the year. Um, my better movies of the year. So I don't know what else to say. It's a short movie. It's only 109 minutes, about almost not even 2 hours, a little less than 2 hours. So easy watch. It's definitely creepy. Um, yeah, I highly recommend go out and see it. Go out and see it. Give it some love. It's his second movie that he put out, Curry Barker, and I gotta say, quite frankly, I'm ready to see something else. I'm ready to see the next thing he's got. So, with that being said, I'm gonna end this part of the video right here. Make sure you like, subscribe, and watch the channel. Keep watching for more. I'm gonna try to come back and do some more videos. All right. So with that, we're gonna transition to the next one. If I can get the thing to come out. So after that, we went and watched this other movie called Is God Is. So Is God Is, um, let's see. This was another interesting movie. This also came out last week as well. We saw this the other day. We saw it yesterday actually. It's a fun. How can I say this? So it's a story about two girls, they're twins, supposedly a short twin, tall twin, right? And I love throughout the whole movie they're calling each other twin. Hey twin, what's up twin? What's going twin? Twin? I'm just like, okay. It's that newly. I'm getting old or something, man. I'm getting old, but So It's God is a movie by not Curry Barker. It's a movie by Alicia Harris, written by Alicia Harris, and is based on a play by Alicia Harris. It's about these two girls, they're twins, and at some point in their lives, they've always stuck up with each other and stuff like that. But at some point, they get burnt. They get in a house fire or something, and their skin gets burnt. The taller twin, her face and a lot of her face and arms and stuff gets very disfigured. But the smaller one, her hand gets fused together and it's like disfigured and stuff. So, but her face is very beautiful. You know, she looks good. She's the better looking twin. So, of course, there's two girls, two, black women living, and they're just working and just sticking up for each other. And they have this twin dynamic where they feel each other's pain wherever they're at. They feel the pain, and so they go throughout that. And then one day they just get a letter from their mother saying that I'm dying, but I want you to go and kill your father. He did this to us, so on and so on. Of course, they go out and they go and have an adventure, and that's the movie, right? First thing I want to say is this movie, by the time I ended, I felt like this was Kill Bill. It's a black version of Kill Bill, and in that the father, you see the father a little bit, but you know who he is, and it's like they hide his face most of the movie, and then until the end when they reveal, and it's like oh Sam, famous guy, okay, excuse me, gassy. But I thought it was an interesting one. I thought it was it's not a super powerhouse movie. It's not a triple A. It's definitely got a lot of feels to it. It's got a lot of vibes to it. It's got a lot of energy and abstract, which I really appreciate. It has its own style and feel. What you see here is exactly what it is. Is God is. So they go and they go on an adventure, and they stop through different places, and they meet different people who have interacted with their father in order to find him until they find his address, and they go and confront him. So starting with the characters, I think the two girls, they did a great job. The two actresses did a great job portraying two different people. With the bigger sister is the younger one, and the smaller sister is the older one. She's the most protective. She's powerful and she's strong. She's the one with all the energy to fight and kill and all this kind of stuff. And the younger one, she wants to love and live in peace, kind of thing, but she doesn't really want to kill. But they keep kind of pushing like, oh, she's the emotional one. I didn't want to make you overreact. You get over emotional. But the whole time in the whole movie, she was really the one that was the most, hey, we shouldn't do this. Hey, we need to think about what we're doing first. And the younger one, the smaller one, interesting. And the smaller one was the one that was like kind of pushing to go do everything. And I was like, man, that's such a crazy dynamic the way they did that, especially when they went to go see the mother. They both were kind of like, I don't know if we should be doing this. I don't know. But then they saw the mother, and at the end of it, something happens, and then the smaller one's like, oh yeah, we're gonna kill everybody. We're gonna do this. And I was like, man, that's a drastic change. Why did you change so hard like that? What made you change so hard like that? They don't show you. They don't show you what happens. So you have to kind of, I don't know, figure it out or something like that. So they go on an adventure and they start meeting some of the characters. They meet this one lawyer dude, which is pretty funny. He was actually from, I remember him from Species. I forget what his name is. His name is McKelty Williamson. He was the guy from Species, the black guy from Species. No. Yeah, he was in Species 2. That's what it was, Species 2. I thought he was an interesting character. The way they introduced him, like he was getting punched out by like, I don't know what to call it, like a sex worker or something. But instead of using her for that, he would use her to beat him up, to train him or something. It was a weird thing to do, and then he couldn't talk, so they made it so like, oh, I'm gonna write this down. I'm gonna write down the most crazy thing I would actually say, but I'm gonna write it down so you can read it instead. Um, that was weird. They had another scene where Maxine, the lady who plays Maxine, Erica Alexander from Living Single, I thought she of course she brought her own energy, that weird over the top. She's always doing this over top, like like very, I'm not gonna say masculine, but she's just always doing something like very tomboyish. Is like, I don't know. She's sitting there eating ribs. She's like, and it's like, why is she being so extra? I thought that was pretty funny. And had it where she was really obsessed with the father. You know, the father abandoned her and he went off and did his own thing or whatever. He just used her for the moment and then he went off. But she was pregnant and she fell in love with him even after he was gone. She'd been waiting for like 20 years for him to come back. And it's like, dang, that was a whole crazy scene. Then the final area of the movie, they went and found. I did this all backwards. The mother, she was like, "Make your daddy dead," and it's like, what? Um, and in the final scene, they went to the house of his current wife, and they just for me, it didn't really make a lot of sense because they were so angry at the world that they were angry at this wife. She was like, I had nothing to do. I don't like him either. And they didn't care. They still like beat her up. And then the sons, come to find out he had other twins and stuff. Spoilers. And then they had a confrontation with them too. But it's like, but why didn't you let them join forces with you so that everybody can see what a monster he is? And then you go against them instead of trying to do everything yourself, kill everything, destroy everything. I don't know. It didn't make a lot of sense. And I think maybe that was the whole point, was that letting your anger and your emotions take you on so much that it ruins your life. By the end of the movie, they definitely feel that, which I thought was okay. All right. I see what you're going for. I don't know if it works for me 100%, but all right. So that's the story for the most part. The characters, I thought they were animated. They were definitely animated. They were definitely exaggerations of themselves, which is cool. But for a movie like this, I kind of knew what I was getting. I didn't let that take away from my experience. I just kind of embraced it and enjoyed it as much as I could. So I think there's definitely some fun to be had with that as well. I'm trying to think what else. The filmography, there wasn't anything really special with that. It's about as normal as you can get. They didn't do any Kill Bill crazy things where they zoomed in, it was red. They didn't do all that. They didn't do nothing special with any crazy fight scenes with kung fu, nothing like that. It was just the thing that was like Kill Bill was the adventure. They were tasked with going to find someone to kill, and this is the adventure. They keep the face hidden the whole time. So, yeah, I think it was worth it. I think it's definitely worth. It's a good time. It's about 100 minutes, so again, not even 2 hours. You can get in, get out, and enjoy the movie. I would say it's a good movie, right in the middle. It's a good movie. Has some flaws, but not going to keep you from having a good time. So definitely go check that out. Is God Is in theaters now. So that wraps up this review. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share with your friends. And yeah, we'll see you on the next video, which is going to be starting this next one, which is Watchmen. So today we're doing a review on the Watchmen series. I know the series came out like 7 years ago. I'm way behind, but I finally got around to sitting down and just watching it. I love DC. DC is my favorite comic book series, and Watchmen is a part of that. It was his own comic book saga, and then I think they were joined into DC at some point. And I love the Watchmen movie, and I thought, hey, they did a Watchmen show. Let me see what it's about. And it turns out this is a sequel to the movie itself. All the events happen like 20 years, 30 years later, or something like that. So, the Watchmen. Let's see. Let me bring it up here. It was created by Damon Lindelof, and of course based on Alan Moore's uh, Watchmen series. So basically, what it's about. Oh man, I can't even. You know what? I can't even begin. I can't begin to even try to explain this to you all because it's so it's so convoluted and it's so up and down and um I don't even know how to even begin. So basically they got okay, I'll try to do it like this. So Watchmen is it happens like 30 years after the original event in 1985 when Rorschach was killed by so spoilers on this by the way. So Dr. Manhattan by the end of the movie, he realizes that he was being used by Ozymandias, the smartest man in the world, who basically orchestrated this whole event, tragic event, to cause all the world leaders to come together and stop fighting in order to fight against um, Dr. Manhattan himself, if I'm not mistaken. But then Dr. Manhattan, in order to save Face, in order to keep that lie alive, Rorschach was going to go out and tell everybody that it was their own superheroes, the Minutemen, that orchestrated this whole thing. But Dr. Manhattan was like, no, we need to leave the secret alone. But then Rorschach was like, you have to kill me. If you don't stop me now, you have to kill me. Do it. And then Dr. Manhattan was like, shh, and he blew him up. He's like, no, he killed him. Then Manhattan went off to Mars to go and create life and to be away from people. So then that happened in the movie, at the end of the movie. 30 years later, here we are. And come to find out, so deep spoilers, deep spoilers. So what happens is Dr. Manhattan, instead of going to Mars, he actually went to Europa, the moon of Jupiter, and he did create life. He used a past experience from seeing two caretakers that he used to have, um, and this man and a woman. He saw them consummating, and so he used them as a memory, as a way to. So he went to the moon and he reformatted the moon and put a castle there, and he put these two people there that are like clones, and they keep in the water. They keep bubbling up and keep being spawned or something like that. So in doing so, he goes there and he gets bored. He gets bored, so he goes back to the Earth and he meets this girl here, this lady. What's her name? Is it Ashley? Is it Ashley? I don't know if it's Ashley. What's your name? All this happens in Tulsa, Oklahoma, by the way. Angela, not Ashley, Angela. Oh, excuse me. So he goes and meets Angela at a bar. And I really like Dr. Manhattan a lot because what's cool about him is that he experiences time all at once. I thought that was such a neat idea, a neat way of doing things, where he can experience it. He's experiencing the past, the present, and the future all at the same time. And they're all linked to each other. So he goes and meets Angela, and while he's meeting Angela, he's also meeting Angela's grandfather, who turns out to be Hooded Justice, and then he's also experiencing the future all the way at the end too. So he's talking to her, and he's like, "Hey, we're gonna have a life together." It's not. I'm not saying this like I'm asking. I'm telling you this is what's gonna happen. And of course, she doesn't believe it because it's Dr. Manhattan. He can do anything. But at the same time, he wants to live a life. He finds her interesting. He knows that he loves her, but he doesn't understand why he loves her. It's not going to happen until later on in the future. It's very convoluted. But then so they ended up having a life together. But to come to find out, he's also talking to our grandfather, which is Hooded Justice. And Hooded Justice, way back in the day, he was the first superhero. The masked superhero, and it was a lot of things going on with racism with his family and his parents and stuff, and his own life and the tragedy of losing his own family. Um, and he wants to destroy the KKK, right? And then by wanting to destroy the KKK, they were the Cyclops. They're going by the Cyclops or whatever. The Cyclops was reborn as the Seventh Cavalry in the future, and the Seventh Cavalry wants to use in the future. They want to use Dr. Manhattan's powers. They want to absorb his powers out of him and put it into one of their own people, so they can rule the world by killing Dr. Manhattan and doing so. So Dr. Manhattan, in the past, when he meets Angela, he's like, hey, we're gonna live together, but of course, him being Manhattan, he changes himself to look like a black man and all this kind of stuff for her. But then it comes to find, it's like, you know what? He's still too godlike. He's still too powerful, and his mind is still too aware of everything. So he puts a thing in his head so that he has no memories. Like he has amnesia. He can be a regular human, and he gets that little device from Ozymandias, and Ozymandias does this for him but he's like, hey, give me something in return. He's like, all right, I'll send you to Europa where I made the paradise. So he sends him out there. When at the same time, Ozymandias has already met his daughter, who he didn't know about, and his daughter that's a whole other thing. But his daughter is just as smart as he is, if not smarter. And then she actually ends up saving him from Europa at some point and brings him back to the future in regular time. So Dr. Manhattan is living a regular life with Angela, but a lot of this Seventh Cavalry comes up and they start really messing up life and stuff. Really paraphrasing that. And then she's like, hey, I got to unlock you again. So she takes the thing out of his head. He becomes Dr. Manhattan again. And then once he does that, it becomes a problem because now he's exposed and she's exposed because she tries to go save him. And when she tries to go save him, she gets in trouble. So he goes out to save her. And by saving her, he exposes himself. So the 7th Cavalry captures him. And then when they go to capture him, that's when Ozymandias, his daughter, her name is True. True comes in and kills everybody from the 7th Cavalry. And that's a deal that she made with the Hooded Justice, because it was like, hey, I'll give you the location of Dr. Manhattan, which is my granddaughter's husband, if you help me kill the cavalry, who destroyed my life. So he does that. She gets Dr. Manhattan, and she kills him, takes his powers, and right when she's about to give his powers to herself, that's when Ozymandias, who was already hating his daughter, came in and was like, oh, I got you. And he kills her. And then, so Dr. Manhattan's just gone, and everything kind of wraps up. That is a paraphrase. I'm telling you, I am paraphrasing this whole thing. But that's the gist of it. It's very back and forth, only because Dr. Manhattan he's the middle point of all this, and he's like in 3 different timelines all at once. And you think you're looking at the present time, but you're actually looking at the past, but you're looking at the future at the same time. It's crazy. But it was such a good show. It was so well done. All the characters, look, this is a 10 out of 10 series. This is fantastic. It was only 1 season, and I get why it's only 1 season. As I look at it and I watch it, I'm like, I don't know what else you do. Because Dr. Manhattan was the middle point. Excuse me. He was the middle point of the movie, and he's the middle point of the series as well. So if he's gone, there is no series or movie. There's no other seasons left to do. But I thought it was very interesting. I thought it was very cool. I feel like I do understand it. I will say it can get a little over the top. It can get a little like, what's going on? But I swear, if you follow it, I think they do a really good job explaining a lot, especially once Dr. Manhattan comes in by episodes. I think it's 9 episodes. So he comes in at episode 7. Once he comes in, it all makes sense. It all makes sense. I really liked it. I don't know what else to say about this show, honestly. I think the Hooded Justice. What do I say? I like the story. I really like what they did with the story with Hooded Justice. But I don't know if I really like all the things they made him do in the series. And if you watch the series, you know what I'm talking about. It just seemed a little unnecessary. It just seemed a little weird. I still can't wrap my head around it. I still don't really understand what they were going for. Other than I get the shock value and I get the twistedness of it, considering Code of Justice history with racism and attacking, getting his revenge, and you know, like having a twisted mind of knowing right from wrong, knowing good from bad, knowing um, feeling loved, if not feeling love, feeling infatuation, appreciation, and all that kind of stuff. I get all that, but I just don't know if it was appropriately conveyed in a if even if he had a tragic outcome of his own psyche, I'm not sure if it was, to me, if it was really, if the impact was really done in the correct method. I do see why it was done in that method. When you watch the series, he has a very unnatural relationship with someone, and I was like, but would he turn to that? Is that his way of getting back at people who were racist toward him? But then I'm like, okay, all right, I don't know. It could have been done a little different, but I think it was still done very, very, very well. There's a lot of tragedy, and then there's a lot of good that was done out of it as well. So, highly recommend the series. I'm not sure what else I could say about this, except it's a high recommend. I'm so glad I watched it. I don't know why it took me so long to get through the series, but I think it was well worth it. Well worth it. Let's see what else. So yes, I'm gonna end the review for Watchmen right there. Thought the filmography was great. Thought the storytelling was great. Characters were great. It's a 10 out of 10. I don't know what else to say. It's a great series. Go watch it. It's still on HBO Max. It came out in 2019, but it's still worth a watch. So make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment, share down below. And yeah, come and watch me again. Come watch me again. All right. So for our last one, did I put it in here? Oh, I didn't put it in here. All right, well, you know what? I think we'll just end it there. So, yeah, I'm gonna try to do some more of these videos. I'm trying to try to get back in the groove of things. I've watched the movies all the time. There's so many. I've probably watched 100 movies since the last time I did a review. I got a book that I'm trying to finish up. I got some more TV shows I'm watching. We're finishing up Daredevil. We'll have that done by this week, maybe tomorrow. So maybe I can do a review on that this weekend. But yeah, we'll see. Who knows? Make sure you stay tuned, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time.